cooking yet?
I bet he'll
Cooking yet?
I'll go a little fast.
Set number 3.
Yeah.
Chase Harden, Carissa Cook, Betsy Flint, and Emily Day. 3-1 in set number 3 for Ende and Betsy.
I've heard we get one. Nice.
They'll switch sides at 4-1 in set 3. I'll keep you updated on that one. As we come back out, 7-2.
What's at stake right here? Semi-finals, 7-2 Case-Beer Shock. Good start over Baumgren and Field. Oh, Troy Field is fun to watch. The highest flying of the young guys, and maybe one of the highest flyers of the entire tour. Well, maybe the highest flyer of the entire tour is the way I should put it.
That's because your knees don't work anymore, right, Kev?
I used to be that guy. I used to resemble that guy. Not so much anymore, Rich Lamborn. Tim said he's wanted to defend for a while. Oh, I don't like that
What?
at all.
It's not a net. That is not a net.
I didn't touch it.
He's going to call 4 touches.
I didn't touch it.
I thought you had it. He signaled me touching it.
So,
It looked like Troy might have netted there.
I netted. I didn't touch it. So either way, it's their point, but I didn't.
great talk there from Troy Field. Oh, Rich Lamborn, thanks for joining us here off the high. And what had to be jitters, I mean, sitting in the coach's box, I think is worse than playing in terms of nerves.
I was fully blonde before that match. Now I have a lot of silver on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it is nerve-wracking because you have zero control over what's going on, right? My sole contribution to that match was calling a timeout right around the freeze when we had that initial lead, trying to kind of strategize with my guys. Turned out it had no effect until about 30 minutes later. And then I'm taking full credit for what went down there.
Of course. They did say you gave him some nuggets. It's good.
Well, that's kind of our approach, is to start with a game plan and kind of work our way through it. Is it working? Is it not? How do we want to adjust? Do we want to stay with what we've been doing? And just kind of communicate our way through it. You know what I mean? And it's nice to have a guy like Jake out there who has so much experience against everybody out here pretty much, and a guy like Taylor who's got an unparalleled volleyball IQ and just sees the game and feels the game so well.
Fun to watch, that
Yeah.
pair. Jeremy Case-Beer, another fun watch. As it has banged off his right hand. So first meeting between these pairs. Obviously, they're both brand new partnerships for this season. This will be the 5th match for Baumgren and Field, and it'll be the 4th match of this tournament for Case-Beer and Schalk, coming off a loss to Triborn and Trevor Crabb. That only their first match of the day. On the other hand, it has been a long and grueling Saturday afternoon for Troy and Tim, the TT. First, they defeated Mark Burek and Ian Satterfield. Then they went through Eddie Ratledge and Roberto Rodriguez. You know him as Rafu and the Rat. That was 15-13 in an hour 2. Not dissimilar from what you guys just went through.
Wow. And then in fairly short order, they had to get back out and get ready for this one. Oh my goodness.
Great touch, my fault.
Yeah, I mean, we know, and I'm sure you guys have discussed at length, Troy's physical capabilities and kind of the up-and-coming nature of him as a player and his game. One thing that I love the last couple of years, and we're seeing it roll into this season, is the emergence of Timmy Baumgren. There's not a nicer guy out there. I had the pleasure of working with him when Jake was hurt. Played with Taylor in Austin last year, and we got to the finals. Took a little bit of a beating from Phil and Nick in the finals, but I mean, what an awesome competitor he is. Great family. Dad and mom are at every tournament they can be. And
Still
yeah,
a full-time professional worker.
I don't know how he does it, because obviously from Minnesota, you can't be training outdoors.
5 a.m. practices in midsummer. I saw that last year. So I hope everyone back there in Minnesota is watching. Troy Field with the left hand. Net violation against Jeremy Casebeer. Point Tim.
That's when your 78-inch vertical is the great equalizer, right? That set gets a little bit tight, maybe even over the net, and you can just elevate with the left hand.
Not ever measured, but yes, 78 inches sounds like a good one. Surprised no true jump serve for the high-flying Troy Field. I would think that would be a big part of the offense for him.
Well, he's kind of the same ilk as like a Phil or a Jake, who doesn't have sort of traditional volleyball training, meaning a lot of indoor experience before they came out to the beach. So he's got some unorthodox things about his game, right? But again, being able to just absolutely fly in the sand can kind of mask some other technical deficiencies, I guess, for lack of a better word.
I just like that you called him ilk, all three of them.
Yeah.
Lots of energy here, buddy.
So we are at 12-9, Casebeer Shaw.
You know that ilk isn't an acronym for I love Kevin, right? That's just a word that means...
There's a lot of people in that party. There's a lot of people at this party, Huntington Beach. Host all weekend of the AVP. 20th year there has been a tournament here in Huntington Beach with the AVP moniker on it.
Doesn't start for 13 more minutes.
Back to a full AVP event this year. It was an AVP FIVB collab one season ago. Court 1 right now, an elimination match.
Yep.
Court 2 also an elimination match. Court 2 about to get underway. M-Day and Betsy Flint leading in the third now, 11-7 over Cook and Pardon. It was 21-13, 16-21. Reversal for Cook and Pardon in that second set to extend it to a third. So let's head out to Court 1 for just a moment, right behind our broadcast position here in Huntington.
Little swing off the tape there came Schulk. You know, one of the things, this is kind of not to harp on that last match, but there were obviously some phenomenal plays throughout, and certainly late in that third set. And having DJ Ruche on tour for so many years, he's a volleyball player, he's a volleyball fan, he's such a knowledgeable guy about the sport that he really, I don't know, threw music in there that got the entire crowd even further on their feet, if that's possible, after some of those rallies.
Oh, those rallies were insane. Crowd ready to just explode as that one is off the hands and out of bounds. A look at DJ Ruche, the other half of Team J Rich. They can be seen getting Monday Gains trains going.
There is he himself coming down off of a high after that match, I think.
Indeed, everyone in this venue, you talk about people that work here, most are volleyball adjacent to start, and if they weren't, they quickly are volleyball fans.
Casebeer and Schulk kind of just steadily plugging along here in this.
Longren with the defense. Oh, bad second touch. And transition plays very difficult for the blocker at the net. Talked to Tim Baumgren. I think last year he proved that he was more than just a Wapaka boat ride highlight film. Although those are great. His brother experiencing some knee issues. That was his regular partner, so he was forced to kind of shop around. Played with Kame Shawks. Playing with Kame was great. But Kame wanted to go and play overseas, wants to be on the FIVB tour. He is going to be under the U.S. flag as of September. He is transitioning from Canada, already an Olympian, alongside
Ben Saxton. Right.
And he will now be under the U.S. flag. Of course, married to Lane Carrico, who will not be on tour this year. But that's because they have a new kid.
That's right.
And we will take the switch at 16-12. Meanwhile, court number 1.
Came a big Tesla proponent. puts together a nice PowerPoint presentation, emails you all the upside. If you're interested, joining the Tesla family.
Excellent.
And he would like you to do that in a hurry, because if you use his promo code this month, you get 5,000 free supercharger miles, as does he.
All right. Count me in. K-Spear runs it down. He'll leave his hat behind, but he's back to the net. It's out of bounds. The effort pays off for the Lorax.
Wow, full extension there. 3 quick steps after he landed. Great layout.
Whenever Jeremy K-Spear decides that he's going to get rid of his hair, get rid of the mustache,
Thank you.
whenever that happens, I want him to come to an AVP event and watch no one recognize him. Watch no one have any idea who it is.
The other piece to that he would have to include is keeping his shirt on, because he does have some recognizable abs, does he not?
Turtle shell abs, yes. Something you would throw at your opposing Mario Kart.
Right. And it bounces off the wall and back and forth.
Correct. It might even be the brown shell, which is more like a homing missile.
Yeah.
Always hard to hit people with the green shell. We're late in the day here, Rich, and there is a lot of dust getting kicked up, similar to what we saw yesterday. And it may not vary other than maybe the angle of the sun. We see it a lot more. I see it on all of our equipment here in our broadcast studio. What does it do to the players? How does it affect play?
I don't know if in match it has so much of an effect. I mean, you may notice it a little bit. If it gets especially dusty, it may hinder your vision momentarily. But I think once you get home and you spend all day in the sun inhaling that dust is really when you feel the effect. You know, I think it can kind of accentuate the lingering fatigue that you may have from playing all day in it.
Reminds me of the particulate matter I used to inhale at Northridge grass tournaments.
Particulate matter.
Yep, look it up, kids.
And what were those particulars? Is that what the root is at? It's not particles?
It's
It's not CBDMD.
although they're making inroads, it's not that. That's definitely true.
And that actually helps you, I think.
Again with the left hand, this time successful for Troy Field. Field informed me that he was coming for the hammer.
He was coming for the hammer.
Yeah, that was going to be his.
I do have to compliment you, kind of retroactively, your little piece out there with Mark Sherman where you were clubbing balls into the crowd. That was quite impressive.
Thank you. That was fun. We almost killed the guy, but it was fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, he shouldn't have been standing there.
On his phone, yeah.
Yeah, I don't, it's not easy to hit with something where it's like so heavily weighted at the end. You did a great job. Gave you, I mean, there was one infield fly. I promptly called that.
There was one fly out. It was like wiffle ball. I had a number of outs. Troy Field. He elevates and crossbody. There's a look at the new pink hat.
That's where, I mean, that's one of the many times I imagine where it's super nice to just fly and hang. Because you can jump early and just hang there until the ball comes down to your level and then Yahtzee line. Nicely done, Troy Field.
Be great if he yelled Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. That was one of my favorites that Geeter would employ. Dare I say, Yahtzee.
You ever throw a Yahtzee one roll?
I have not. I can't tell you the last time I played Yahtzee.
Done it with deuces, just saying. My son Reese, not happy. That one in return, and we are out of the first set, 21-15 in easy fashion for K-Spear and Shock. We'll reset it to 0 and see what damage can be done in set 2 by Baumgren and Field.
Come on, man. Push hard in the second one. Come on.
Pretty smooth performance there from.
9:15 start semifinals. We are all.
Yeah, K-Spear and Shock looking good in that first set, and Rich Lamborn, as usual, looking good up here. We're going to get the flex down again later. I'm going to get a spray tan first, then we're going to get after it like we did in New York.
I can help you chop the sleeves off the typical Tuesday Fred the Cat shirt.
We may have to do that. In the meantime, let's find out what was going on earlier today. I don't know. I was out wandering around doing something.
Let's see it.
All right, we found the KT Tape booth. Kevin Barnett alongside
Dustin Serrano.
Dustin Serrano?
Serrano.
Like the pepper?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Would that be good if we had that in the KT tape?
No, it'd be too hot.
Summer and Sarah, you guys have a bunch of KT tape on all the time. What do you like about this stuff?
Oh, KT tape is always just keeping us healthy out there, whether it's if we're injured or we just need little adjustments.
Taylor Crabb, you were covered in KT tape yesterday. How much do we really have wrong?
Well, my shoulder's always been bothering me.
Stop hitting so hard. All right, Jeannie Arango, KT tape. We've seen you with it on. Where do you like to put it?
Right now I'm using it on my knee. It's been a little swollen.
You ever go to the design?
I like when they like strip it really skinny, lots of little skinny pieces, and then do all those weird crisscross, all that applesauce. Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite spots.
Ooh, I love the back. And then shoulder too, like if I'm really in pain, like bringing it around the front. And knees. I get a lot of random injuries.
Anyway, that sounds like a whole roll of it. We need to put a hashtag somewhere.
Yes, definitely somewhere.
Let's make it happen. I see the extreme stuff here. Is that better than the regular stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we got to keep it on.
So like when I'm talking for the 8th hour, I should get the extreme?
Exactly.
Just right here, maybe?
It'll help your muscles out.
Is that the right line?
Yeah, exactly.
Right here?
Yep.
This is the hashtag treatment of the lower back. Oh, hang on. I just gained about 3 inches in height.
Oh, yeah, it's taller than me now. So what happened?
There we go. Yeah. Could you get your name on it? Can we get like personalized?
Oh, hey, that's the next step for us. We'd love that.
Well, we just innovated. Done. You're welcome, KT Tape. Taylor Crabb told me where I had to put it, so I'm ready. After that last match, I had to go KT Tape on the chin.
Your jaw will thank you.
No more TMJ. It's great.
No more TMJ.
It's great.
You look like I did after Doug Beal coach on one in 2002.
All right, Rich, they were worried about it. Rip it off. Rip it off. One motion. Just get rid of it. Oh, my goodness. All right. Moving on. Back into set 2. Here we go. Finishing up a Saturday. What an unbelievable last match we had. We've already booked 3 trips to the semifinals. Troy Field trying to book another. He has a whole set to win first.
Lest you think Jeremy Casebeard doesn't get up on the block as Troy Field hit that over the top of him, you are wrong because he jumps high as well. That's just how high Troy Field got up on that ball.
I'm not only excited about this match, I'm excited about this matchup all year.
Right.
I figure these pairs will stay together.
Absolutely.
We'll see some outstanding volleyball.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating early on in the season how many partnership shakeups we've seen, but how many of them seem to be so good. Seem to be finding success relatively quickly.
I know a lot of people had questions about Casey and Chase.
Yeah.
Because they'd already gone and done some international events, maybe not measured up to external expectations.
Sure.
But this has been an outstanding event for them. Big win over Phil and Nick. And they are on to the semis.
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier, you know, on paper versus in reality.
Yeah.
You know, oftentimes two different things. So certainly on paper, Chase and Casey are a very formidable team. And I think early on we had yet to see that full potential be reached, and maybe we're seeing glimpses of it here in Huntington Beach.
Oh, maybe glimpses of the future. Troy Field, another big jump and a rejection. Troy Field spending some time playing with the McKibbins, playing snow volleyball over in Italy recently. I saw a lot of sick highlights from him.
Devastating people in the mountains. Really.
Italians deserve it.
Nice handwork here. Let's take a look at it. Up high. Good finish there, Troy Field. And the triple ace for Timmy Baumgren. They'll take a 5-2 lead into the first side switch. Looking to push this to a third after kind of a decisive victory in set 1 for Casebeard and Schultz. Still a lot of volleyball left to play here, which I know is obnoxious to you on a certain level as you're trying to see more volleyball.
Pains me just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
CIF second round tonight. My son, junior opposite for Redondo Union, is going to be playing against Loyola High School. So lots of great storylines there. One of the terrific rivalries in the Southern California high school system. But here's an even bigger wraparound for you. Marcos Miranda, coach for Ricardo and Rosie.
Yeah.
His son Gabe is on that team as well, playing middle. Senior headed next year to Stanford University. So he will be in action tonight.
Wow.
And those that aren't rushing up for that, which there might be maybe one more, I don't know from here for that, might be rushing up to Long Beach State, where it's going to be the men's national championship tonight. Hawaii versus Long Beach. Yeah, that's actually already underway. East Coast timing. It is 5 o'clock start. It's 5:35 right now, local time here in Southern California. So that is already well underway.
Point-saving stuff here from the Lorax himself. Again, nice handwork there at the net, Jeremy Casebeer. We talk Tyler Hildebrand, our head national team coach for the Beach.
USA Beach head coach, yeah.
Yeah, talks about shaping the ball when you're blocking. Kind of making a nice angle to face into the court when you're blocking.
How about making a nice angle right to the coffin corner? That was how you draw it up. 1 foot square, lay down your rulers, and you'll find that ball mark.
He's got a lot of those angles in his bag. Unfortunately for you if you're his opponent. He's kind of like the Beach version of a Clay Stanley, where he's kind of got the non-stop green light, I would think, from the end line.
Hawaii leading right now 24-22 in set 1. Might have to give you some earmuffs and spoiler alert calls if you're taping that one being
on a scale
broadcast
of
on TV.
0 to 10, how embarrassing is it that I thought that meant the first set was over? Forgetting that indoor we go to 25.
Tim Baumgren on the left with the right hand. Was that the right hand?
I think that was the right hand. Yeah, Timmy a lefty. Yeah, both of those guys are kind of ambidextrous.
Is that
Troy
Ala
with the left?
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to watch the evolution of Tim Baumgren as a defender this year. What do you think is really key in that evolution? What are the failings of any blocker going to the back court?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we see it a little bit with Trevor and Tri. You know, they're kind of what we would consider undersized blockers. So I think as they've come up in the game, they've developed a little bit more of the ball control skills that a defender needs, more so than maybe a traditional blocker who's a big, tall stick. You know what I mean? Because we're seeing it already out here. Timmy can control the ball, and certainly in transition he can chop you up. So I mean, it's going to be important for him to get sort of the timing of the movement back there, but I think he's got the requisite defensive ability as far as controlling the ball goes.
I remember watching Timmy chop people up in transition in Austin last year. First time I'd seen him in any kind of extended version.
Yeah.
Playing alongside Taylor Crabb all the way to the finals against Phil and Nick. Yeah, he was in transition, just deadly. Now, that was really a really nice set.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice move, a well-timed move. They're just a better shot from Jeremy Casebeer. Yeah, Timmy's kind of sneaky athletic. You know, you look at Jeremy Casebeer, we talked about the abs, he's all cut up. You expect him to be a high flyer and wildly athletic. Timmy is solid muscularly as well, but it's kind of shocking how well he jumps, how smoothly he moves, you know, and then he's got the lefty thing too, and we've seen he's got the righty in him as well.
I think if you put another 20 on Timmy, he might be running a fullback dive off guard up there for the Gophers. Another block from Troy Field.
Yeah, that's a nice line dive there from Troy Field at the net.
Troy's made a couple of good dives in the second set. It's working out, up 4.
Making their own case to make this match of the day.
It's got a long way to go.
It's got a long way to go.
No disrespect to the 4 players out there now. It's match of the year thus far. Game shock defense keeps it alive. That was a tough track for both. Net violation, even though that one would have stayed alive.
How about how Timmy Baumgren covered that ball with an upside down tomahawk? I stepped on it a little bit. Could you tell what that discussion was about?
I could not on that case. Anyway.
Yeah, as Troy and Timmy got the...
Rich is in the booth right now. Troy Field was doing it last year. What do you have to say?
Being a guest commentator in the booth was one of the highlights of the season last year because it just gave me a different feel for the sport. I wasn't on the sand, but I was still involved, and so I'm able to commentate on my friends playing, on athletes I look up to, and just the information that I was able to give felt like could be helpful to the commentators because they're working 13-hour days, and sometimes it's nice to have a fresh voice in there to relieve them and give them fun information.
It's always good when that fresh voice comes with fresh hair as well.
Fresh lip gloss, apparently.
Troy Field is, when not here at the AVP, his other job is a stand-in at Mad Men. Go ahead and try and verify that.
Winner of this match will play Seba.
He did have a little bit of that 1960s Madison Avenue look to him there, didn't he? My favorite part of that piece was where he talked about how nice it was for you guys to have him in the booth to spell you.
I did catch that. Thank you for being there, Troy, for us.
Go!
This will have to go, and it'll go in fashion.
Oh.
K-Spear rips again. Kevin Barnett alongside gold medalist Rich Lamborn here in studio up above Huntington Beach and Stadium Court. Rich Lamborn getting calls from other gold medalists as we speak. It's like a fraternity, huh?
They can just sense, we sense each other's presence in the universe.
Riley Salmon, who's recently returned to the volleyball world. Of course, 2008 gold medalist and reception partner of you and Reed Pretty on that fantastic team that would go on to win an unbelievable semifinal as well as final. We are at the technical timeout. 3-point lead, looking maybe like a third set. In any case, all day long, we've been in the booth, and all day long, we've had Megan Riza down on the sand. Megan, where are you? Who you have?
I am down on the sand stadium court. I had the chance to catch up with Mike, the head coach for K-Spear and Chalk, and he was saying he's going after Jeremy a little bit. Like the matchup battle between him and Troy, seeing some good blocking, really wants to work on their ball control. I asked him, what really works in their partnership this season? And he said, they're really so stylistically similar. They really complement each other's games so well. Naturally, he said, it's like you're playing with yourself. So it's really been just an effortless partnership between them. They really communicate very well.
We got a checklist of things.
Thank you, Megan. It's always comfortable out on the court when you feel like you're playing with oneself. Back out on the court here. Something kind of as we went into that technical timeout, Kevin, that I noticed is just a little bit of lack of attention to detail on the side of Troy Field and Tim Baumgard's second half of this set. That's something they're going to want to be careful about. A team as talented as Jeremy and Kame can quickly get back into this match.
When you say that, where does that show up? Where is it manifesting itself?
Yeah, it's just, on certain touches. I don't pay
quality of contact.
Quality of contact is a great way to say it. I don't quite finish this pass. I don't quite set this ball as well as I could have. Can I take a second to give Megan a compliment? I've been on kind of both sides of her work, up here and then down in the coach's booth, player's booth, I guess I should properly call it.
It's not yours.
It's not mine, even though I kind of habitate it more so than they do.
Yeah, you're just renting, but subletting.
She's so nice and unassuming. Like, I need to ask you these questions, but I don't want to interrupt what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's so delightful.
Megan Riza joining us all weekend. She'll be back for the semis and finals tomorrow. Been doing an outstanding job covering the outer courts. Of course, a volleyball person in her own right, former middle blocker out of UC Riverside for the Bears. Strangely, the Scottish Bears, and the way you know they're Scottish is they wear kilts and play bagpipes.
I think I missed the first part of that. Is that the mascot for UC Riverside?
It is.
The Scottish Bears?
Yep. Wow, look it up. Day and Flint have moved to the semifinals, a 15-8 victory over Cook and Pardon. We have action in center court. Action on court 2 still going. Easy for you to say. No touch on that. Ball scuds into the crowd.
12-14.
5:45 local time. Kevin Barnett alongside Rich Lamborn. Remember, we have our rap show coming yet today. Cameron Irwin prepping for that. I'll be joining you for that, as well as Megan. We'll come up from off the sand from the outer courts. And we will recap the day, day 2, Contenders Saturday. We'll have our fields of semifinalists all set. We'll be looking forward to 6 matches tomorrow. Getting started and crowning a champion and handing out the trophies that have been inhabiting my house for the last few weeks. 14-13 timeout. Baumgarten Field, to Rich's point earlier, giving some points back, and we are in a dogfight here in the second set. This is a look at our beautiful location, just north of the pier. If you can bounce pier, you are something special. There's all the outer courts, and then center court. Right now, center your screen is our location above the Rockwell booth. Of course, Sponsor Village, always a great part of being at any AVP event. A lot of freebies to be had, great products to have. And our crew that we listen to, they're out in the far right in a bunch of boxes. Lots of editing going on, filming, cameramen, producers, directors, ADs, graphics people, all kinds of folks behind this effort to provide you the best coverage the AVP has ever had. Do not forget the replay people either. They're doing work too. Apologies.
Essentially, we keep them in a cell, but convince them it's working quarters.
Yeah, well, we're the point of the spear up here. You know, stage managers, Bob was getting upset behind us.
Bob
Jib operators.
Bob gets to breathe the fresh, albeit dusty air, though, up here with us. And now a few points in succession for Schalke and Case-Beer, and we're level.
How do you get it back? Things still out of control on the TT side.
Yeah, what I counsel my players to do typically is to just kind of narrow focus if you can. Don't look further than your nose, so to speak. I just want to pass this ball. Then I'll worry about setting it, then I'll worry about hitting it. Don't think we need to sight out. That's even too broad of a focus.
Looking further than your nose, difficult for some of the Italian players I played with.
Hey-o!
That one banged off the block and out. Zingers are free here on Saturday night.
Your favorite hostess snack, the zinger.
This one will stay alive, but not for long. Case-Beer puts it away, and what was a comeback is now a lead.
And we are not short on slugging in this match. And here's some absolute thumps coming out of both sides of the net.
Speaking of thumping balls, as the first lead is captured by Case-Beer and Schalke. I couldn't believe a couple of balls that were hit by Phil Dalhauser during that last match in a losing effort. Providing some highlight reels, that one just out.
Yeah, Phil is a special, special human being. There's a couple things that I find extremely obnoxious about him, though, in fairness.
Do tell.
One of which is what a great guy he is. He's so nice and unassuming for, you know, in my opinion, the greatest volleyball player in the history of this sport.
Yeah, beach volleyball, I think that's not hyperbole.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, the fact that he gives you zero reason to hate him on any level is obnoxious. There's just no other way to say it. The other thing that I find a little bit obnoxious on a more serious note is I'm a big believer in Hugh McCutcheon's edict that greatness is not a switch that you can turn on and off. And Phil seems to be the Malcolm Gladwell outlier to that, in that he can cruise and just kind of float in and out of unbelievable greatness out there.
18-17, K-Spear and Shock trying to close this out. 2 points for them would give us a freeze. Baumgren and Field trying to force us to a third, which would delay our AVP Prime Video live wrap-up show that is coming up on the conclusion of our center court activities, our stadium court, which is in its 8th match of the day. We'll wrap it all up, put a bow on it for you, and set the table for tomorrow. After we clear off the extra wrapping paper and the scotch tape and the bows.
Nice save there. Timmy Baumgren showing he's still got some blocking prowess.
You could split block at any time.
Good. That's a nice save there to right the ship. A little bit of a missed contact there from the youngster.
Who are you
in
serving?
The pink hat. Who do I serve here?
Yeah.
I go for my toughest serve is what I do if I'm Tim.
Okay. That one looked like it came. Very deliberate. Conversion by Timmy Baumgren.
I really like the patience of Tim Baumgren there. He held his ground. Let's see if we can see it start to finish here. You don't see him moving. He saw the shot, sprinted to it. And as we mentioned before, he can get up and chop you up in transition.
And then he sprinted to the attack as well. That's one of those he ran 30 yards to gain 4. That one's long from Jeremy. Set point.
Philosophically, I would disagree with that right there. Scoring on Kame and then going to the other guy, but it worked out with kind of maybe, you know, caught K-Spear off guard there. And then he goes right up the middle.
Ball is good. 2019, so they need one.
Upset with himself there, I think. Excuse me, Kevin. I think his responsibility was to take that angle. Didn't quite do it as much as he would have hoped.
Field for the third set. Yep, here we go. Had to close it out then, and they did. 21-19, so we will play to 15, win by 2. And that will guarantee the end of the day here on center court.
Much to the chagrin of Kevin Barnett.
Well, that's all right. It's good volleyball. I've always said I'd stay for good volleyball. Just means I will drive twice as fast. My Blue Flame jet car. Here's a look at how it lays out for tomorrow. We will have Krabs in the top semifinal, along with Tri Bourne and Jake Gibb. Chase Budinger and Casey Patterson having an outstanding first AVP tournament together. They are into the semis, and they await the winner of this one. What do you think about these particular matchups?
Well, it's a rematch in the first semifinal. That's a match that Taylor Crabb, Jake Gibb, and myself lost earlier in this tournament in, unfortunately, decisive fashion to a team in Trevor and Tri that are playing some excellent volleyball. And unfortunately for everybody, it's not uncharacteristic of them. They're not careering on any level. They just play the game at a very high level. So it'll be a battle in the morning. And it'll be interesting, you know, like we talked about, Casey and Chase are playing some great volleyball, some of the stuff that I know they expected when getting together as a partnership, and some of us have expected from them.
Let's move over to the women's side. The A team booked the trip, beating Day and Flint in decisive fashion 2-0. Day and Flint would come back, and they will get the Maple Leafs in one semifinal. And the other yet to be decided, ongoing right now. First set to Larson and Stockman over Samaras and Sarah Hughes. 21-19, second set about to get underway.
And don't be thrown by the 14 next to Mel and Sarah's name. They're number 2 or 3 in the world. They just haven't accrued AVP points, so that's why we have them at a 14 seed.
And in fact, the number 4 is Larson and Stockman. That's how they ended up in contenders, as they ran into the 14.
Right. gambling online, don't think that the 14's a walkover.
Hey, 14's never a walkover. 14s are good everywhere.
14's are good everywhere. For those of you not catching that reference, that was Kevin's number.
That was, is.
Is your
Tell that to Kevin Hansen. I don't care if you want a gold medal in that number.
Go on. Go, go.
Troy took a little check down, came read it. A lot of dust getting kicked up right now.
Yeah. And a series of great digs there from Timmy Baumgren. We didn't get to see the dig there from Tim Baumgren, but he showed a nice array of shots in transition. Going with the wrist away cut shot, and then the chop back to the line for the kill.
Cut.
Another block from Troy Field.
Great start here to this third set. Timmy Baumgren, Troy Field. That's one of the things, you know, that was kind of Andy Mole-esque. For those of you unfamiliar
Anders
with
Mole.
that name, that's Anders Mole of Norway, the best player in the world right now in the sport of beach volleyball. And he really is kind of pioneering that blocking style where his butt practically touches the sand and he's out of the field of vision.
I've seen Chase doing the same thing.
Chase, yeah.
But
It requires some great strength in your legs, some great mobility in your hips and so forth, and some great jumping ability. And Troy is showing that he has all of those things. Chase is showing us that, and certainly Andy Mole is doing that on the international tour.
Top shelf start here, 2-set 3 for Baumgren and Field. 4-0 the score, so timeout quickly taken by Kame and Jeremy.
Hold it, yeah.
So Kev, again, I'm gonna watch here.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Let's go, boys. Let's stay aggressive. Yeah.
Did we get any nuggets there, Kev?
I was trying to get a little listen in. Sorry to cut you off there, Rich, but just to see if we could catch some of that. You were saying?
I was saying I'm going to watch here how Tim and Troy pay attention to those details like we talked about kind of in the latter part of that second set. They righted the ship just in time, but they kind of let off the accelerator just a touch.
How do they treat that sail? Do they caress it and hold it and love it? Or do they just smash it all up?
It's not so much here.
Or here. 4-1, finally on the board. Case Beer and Shock out of the timeout. Make it 5-1. Well, that ball hit right into the lap of Troy Field on reception.
Yeah.
Troy Field looking for his very first Sunday appearance. We know what Sunday feels like. I don't even know what Sunday Troy is like.
Neither
How good
does
is his
Troy.
hair? Is it worse? Is it better? How could it be better? I don't know. Does he jump higher?
Now, there may be an adrenaline factor there, certainly. I'm curious to see on, you know, we talked about what do Tim and Troy need to do, or what do they need to avoid maybe. And on the other side, do Kame and Jeremy maintain their aggression?
Well, do you go away from Troy right now off back-to-back smooth side outs? They're just kind of laying it out to him, not really challenging him on the reception. And the big jumping, hard-hitting Troy Field delivers another bullet to the sand.
And that's kind of an important distinction you make there, right? Like, going at a player is one thing, but serving it in his lap is another.
Beautiful cover, ball stays alive, back flipper. That only works for Ed Ratledge.
Oh, no, no, no.
Just wide.
And Timmy and Troy have all the magic right now. Kind of like we talked about before, Tim is showing us that ball control is not a weakness of his on any level. We've seen the tomahawk from kind of the middle of the body. We've seen some knuckle pokies, and then we've seen him more traditionally underhand scoop a lot of balls out here.
Troy Field getting a lot of serves. Has those 4 blocks. Several of them have come kind of straight up and down, almost slapping the ball back.
Timmy close to that one too, even though that was a phenomenal shot from Jeremy Casebeer. 7-3, still lots of time left, especially with the freeze coming in this 3rd set. But you would think that Jeremy and Cam are going to have to get on their horse if they're going to make this a match here.
Yeah. Get on your horse like the Dothraki with the flaming sword. Make it happen. Well, actually, that wouldn't work out, would it?
Yeah, that's a terrible analogy since they rode to their demise.
Well, it'd be over quickly, and I'd be on to my other match.
There
So.
you go.
Field way low, up high, ball in the net, 9-3.
This is always such a challenging part of sport, right? Is if you get in these kind of big holes, convincing yourself that, hey, if they did it to us, we can just as easily do it to them. We just have to kind of stay the course.
One of the reasons Americans are prized overseas on the indoor side of the game is because they grind all the way to the end. They don't care.
Right.
It matters not to most American players what the score is. Europeans, quite different. And the coaches will tell you that. The players, the teams will tell you that. That's why they hire American players, is for that mentality. 10-4, steady as she goes for the TT.
Interesting wrinkle there. They threw Cam Schalk at the net, and Jeremy Casebeer was on defense there. They thought that set was a little bit iffy. It might have been, but no call.
Something Jeremy Casebeer did a lot with Reed Pretty last year when they needed a little change up. They would go to the split block.
Reed Pretty absent at this tournament. He and partner Theo Brunner in Malaysia taking home the silver in the Kuala Lumpur 3-star event out there. Congratulations to them. Yep, this set looked a little questionable on replay as well. Bit of the helicopter spin. Not sure oh, there we go. We walked it back for a second, but it is 10-5.
That ball just wide, make it 11. And now the lead's starting to really feel insurmountable at 11-5 in a race to 15.
It does, but they showed us in that second set that they can run points in bunches. They're, of course, going to need to avoid that.
Troy Field picks up a big one. Yet another block for the youngster. He's already answering questions about this season. Will he take a big step forward? That ball is in. But side outs will do for now to get you to the freeze. This is an elimination match. You will get Chase Budinger and Casey Patterson tomorrow. If you're victorious, looking like right now, it would be Baumgren and Field. Big swing, bigger block. 7.
That's a great play from Jeremy Casebeer there, but I really like that Troy stayed aggressive there.
Well, and Jeremy challenged him on the service this time. We saw him earlier in this match just laying it up in Troy Field's lap. That was a tough serve coming from Casebeer. Can he get a run going here? A la Zaitsev. He's going to need that kind of run. Tried to pull his hands, did Casebeer. Still got a piece.
That was kind of interesting, right? I'm not sure what that was about. It wasn't so tight that Troy was swinging for the stands like we saw from Rafu yesterday. Hit one up over the grandstands off the fingertip of Chase Budinger. In the post game, Chase told us the touch was so slight he doubted if he even touched it, even though he felt it touching. We are pretty much at a critical juncture here. With a side out.
Well, how many do you need right now? 3, 4, just to get within range?
I think if you get to 13-10.
Yeah, you might have a shot.
Yeah. You at least feel like you got a puncher's chance.
Oh, there is one. No touch. So forget that plan. 14-8.
Stranger things have happened. We've seen lots of freeze scoring comebacks, but the smart money is on Timmy and Troy finishing this out.
It would be one for the ages. Match point. So we are frozen. Let serves. You get a reserve. You have to serve to score points. We were in the freeze in our last match for plus 15 minutes.
A nerve-wracking 15 minutes that was.
Rich Lamborn had a stomach ache.
Still do.
Nice set. Big swing out. All right, 14-9.
Again, I like the aggressive nature from Timmy and Troy there. They've got a little bit of a cushion, but they don't want to let too many of those plays go by the board.
This is where I like the freeze. You could be aggressive from the service line. I watched this last week in China. Watched the match end on a service error.
Right.
Boring. Dumb. Should be changed.
That's just athleticism winning out right there, is it not? A great set from Tim Baumgren, but Troy Field just elevating, hammering down onto the top of the block.
Match point number 2.
I'm not sure what Timmy was hoping for there. A clear touch to block at Troy Field. It's funny as a competitor, you just get so close to the end that you start seeing things or not seeing things in this case, right?
Baumgren looks down, gets a piece of K-Spear. K-Spear turns another point, 14-10. Still lots of cushion, long way to go, but good work being done by K-Spear and Shaw.
Yeah, I think one of the most fascinating parts about the freeze, other than kind of like you mentioned, not letting a match just end on service errors, is the psychological shift that comes along with it, right? I feel like I'm still in it if I'm that team that's behind 7 points or 6 points or whatever it was. And you feel this added pressure somehow as a team with an 8-point lead. Ooh. Close there.
It's only a 4-point lead right now, but could be closed out. Match point 3.
Shadows creeping, dust kicking up all over the place, and some great volleyball on Stadium Court here.
Let's serve. Serve again.
It's interesting, Troy going for kind of a two-hand toss hybrid jumper. We haven't seen that much out of him.
No, we weren't seeing the jumper at all earlier. Ticks it again, so possession goes the other way. Troy Field looking to the DJ Richey booth for clarification on the rules. Not sure if he was asking for a song or waving in an aircraft.
There's kind of two ways to view that. I'm not sure which side I fall on in that. You want a little bit of focus in these kind of moments, or do you like the levity of conversing with the DJ booth? You know, I suppose it depends on your
How about
character, your
taunting your
personality.
opponent? Taylor Crabb having some fun
Oh man.
with Nick Lucena.
Yeah, those guys. How great are those guys?
My favorite was last year. Taylor took his shirt off. Nick went and got his shirt and put it back on because the crowd was loving Taylor with his shirt off.
Whoa.
That was epic.
2019, Nick Lucena has zero reason to ever have a shirt on.
Correct. Brazilian Nick.
I mean,
Match point right now, 14-10. Rap show coming. Whenever this is over. Is it now? No.
that was my best shot as an indoor player underneath the block, as I was incapable of going anywhere else, Kevin Barnett.
I remember when you were stealing my home playoff game from me.
I didn't know it at the time, but that is my favorite career memory, is just anything that rubbed you the wrong way.
Still owe me one of those, Rich Lamborn. Fifth set point, match point. Case Beard trying to go back. Oh, here it is. Turn.
Oh
No.
my goodness.
Is that Don Sujo out there? Is that? I can't see very well. Is that Don Sujo? The Olympian of the United States, known for his going on two at booyah moments. Do you like the on two there, or you not like it? I mean, regardless of the result.
I do. Again, I like the aggressive nature that they're maintaining on the side of Field and Baumgren. I actually think that's a pretty high percentage play, typically. If you include the result, I hated that play.
Of course. Being results-oriented, not part of the Hugh McCutcheon lexicon.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the difficulties, right? You want to counsel your players and you want to view the game through, was that the right decision, not did we get the right result.
Do we get a decision right now? Sixth match point. Tim Baumgren with the serve. He'll play D. Ball is in.
Because I'll give you the flip side of that. Early into the freeze in that match that we saw between Nick and Phil and Jake and Taylor, my guys had an opportunity for Jake to go on two with that ball, and he kind of went with the jump bump.
Yes, I
Which,
remember.
I like the deference to your younger and very talented partner, but I would like to see him be aggressive in that spot. Now that may, since we didn't end up winning that point, that may seem results oriented, but kind of that on-two play is something that we do work on, and so it's something that I do like.
And had worked throughout that match. Seventh match point. Continuing to work on K-Spear. It's not working at all for the moment. Sun's going down. Do we have a Chicago 18 situation here? How long is this going to last? 8 minutes in the freeze. Logging our freeze time in the last two matches up over 20. Scratching and clawing right now, the Lorax. Another point, now within 3. And a sand timeout will be called by Troy Fields as he walks over to the pole following this ace. Looking like a sugar donut.
Churro, if you will. Out on court two, a good one developing between Summer Ross, Sarah Hughes, and Kelly Larson, Emily Stockman going to a third. Larson Stockman taking the first 21-19. Hughes and Ross coming back 21-15 in the second set. They'll see a decisive third out there.
Looking for touches, no touch. And now
I know, but it's
What did you
chaos
think,
reigns.
That's 5 that
Let's see
you've
if we
already
can
missed.
get a replay here. Timmy Troy claiming they heard it. I thought that was an up over the top job again. Let's see as we look at it here. Didn't look like a touch there, right? I mean, that's kind of hard to tell from that replay. The slap on that ball, it's hard to distinguish if there's any kind of audible thing that you can glean from that.
So as I recall, 14-8 is where we hit the freeze. What do you got there, Rich? What do you think?
Still tough to tell because Jeremy kind of pikes his hands over right at that moment of contact. Usually if you did in fact touch it, there's a little bit of sheepishness to your arguing. There didn't appear to be any of that on the part of Jeremy K-Spear, so we'll go with no touch. And we've seen consistently when Troy Field is jumping high and hitting high, he's well over the top of Jeremy K-Spear. So the fact that that ball was out leads me to believe that it may have been up over the top.
These gentlemen are in the golden hour right now. As we peek out on court 2, only other match left. It is also in that third set. 3-2, Larson, Stockman, Hughes, Ross. One last spot available in the semis. And one last spot available at the bar, crying in your beer. Nothing to cry about if you're a fan. Beach volleyball in the last 2 men's matches on center court. A 3-set thriller, epic, one for the ages battle, and now maybe the best comeback of all time. From 14-8 at the freeze, it is 14-13. Jeremy K-Spear from the line with another ace.
And I'm curious now, as they switch sides, Timmy and Troy were looking into the sun, trying to deal with Jeremy K-Spear's serve as they stared into the sun as shadows kind of creep on to that south side of the court.
And Jeremy K-Spear tossed away his sunglasses while he was on that side.
Yeah.
Earlier in this match. Now he's over here. Still ripping. And throwing the ball back, we're tied.
That's, if we get another look at that, let's watch how Jeremy K-Spear almost goes up too early, catches himself, and waits, reading the shot from Tim Baumgar. What an excellent play. Yeah.
Almost spiked the spike.
Well done to the Lorax, yeah. And it's not fun to be on the receiving end of him rolling from the service line.
Ticked the net.
Oh my goodness.
The net.
Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen.
14 all.
Like we talked about, the green light is never off.
7 match points fought off. Get a point here. K-Spear Shock would have their own.
Oh, that's a touch.
And they'll have
Oh, my
it.
goodness.
First match point the other way.
Well, that right there is a little bit of the tension that comes along with being in your first match kind of really late on a Saturday, and of course, giving up a little bit of a lead.
5th ace for K-Spear. Wow.
Yeah,
for the match.
To hit that after ticking the tape on his first one is extra impressive.
We'll do it again. So let's serve another match points.
I mean, can he complete it right here?
A new year, new partnership, same hard serving Jeremy K-Spear out of UCLA.
The thing is he can hit it sideline to sideline, so it's not like you can really line it up because he's coming from the middle.
He's been on field. Stays on him.
Oh my
Who was in
goodness,
the net?
yeah.
Jeremy K-Spear was.
Got a little too excited there, perhaps, to try and put that away with the Kong block.
We have had 8 match points. No question there.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you just, you start salivating as a blocker, right? And a little bit of discipline is in order there to just surround that ball with both hands.
That ball's out, no touch.
Oh boy. So are we going to get a repeat of set number 2 here, where Schalk and K-Spear jumped out to a lead, and then Troy and Tim stole it away?
Big block, and we're back the other way.
Oh my
Eerily
goodness.
familiar, as you just said, Rich Lamborn. Only thing that would make it exactly the same is now a follow-up stuff block, because it was finished by 2 blocks by Jake Gibb in our previous match. Now 16-15, 8th opportunity for Field and Baumgren.
Oh my goodness, right on
the nylon.
And again, these are the moments that can kind of define you, or these are the moments that can haunt you, right? When you had that ball 50-50 if you're Jeremy Casebeer after all those great serves.
Dictionary or ghost, your choice.
Now, that was kind of interesting. A little bit of a weak serve that time from Kane Schalk into Timmy Baumgren.
9th match point for this pair, 10th overall. Still working on Casebeer. Back set again. Lipped, but a net.
My goodness.
Tragic.
How about that dig from Timmy Baumgren, though? Just squatting down and giving it the big right paw. Call that the paddle. T. Krabs knows about that. Nick Lucena, a lot of the premier defenders out here know about the paddle, and Timmy Baumgren shows he's got it in his arsenal as well.
We will see T. Krabs tomorrow. In fact, both T. Krabs.
Now, there's only one T. Krabs. Oh my
Again,
goodness!
2 in a row.
Oh my
And this is what it is. Listen, our up official lays his hand on the cable, old school style, and he waits for the feel. He doesn't even have to watch. He just waits for the feel of that ball even ticking with the tiniest amount, that cable. It's unquestionable, really.
It really is.
He's not going to blow the whistle unless he feels something.
Yeah, not a vision call. It's fascinating that that's now happened twice, though.
On ace serves.
And it's so fractional.
Yes.
Both of those ticks. What a save there.
Ball's wide. We're tied again.
Now, that was a wonderful, wonderful set there from Troy Field. Just an unfortunate miss there, Timmy Baumgren. But I mean, yet another bullet off the bat. Jeremy Casebeer there from the service line. And again, getting a little bit of staring into the sun from Troy Field and Tim Baumgren.
Bad pass. Bettered the ball. Big block. Back the other way.
What is going on Stadium Court today, Kevin Barnett?
Outstanding volleyball entertainment, Rich Lamborn. Second match point for Schalk and Casebeer.
Wow.
This place would be rocking just the same if it weren't now almost 6:30 local time. And a lot of people haven't bagged their beach gear for the day.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hope you're enjoying it here.
Yeah.
On Prime Video. Second match point. 11th overall. Nobody up.
What a set, what a set, what a put away.
Like it's the Wapaka boat ride in a pool play match.
Really nice job there from Troy Field that time. Staying behind that ball, squaring up to his target, and laying up some juice.
Nope. Reserve.
Kudos to all our referees being on their feet for these long knockdown, drag-out battles out there on Stadium Court.
And they will be back tomorrow. Really tough serve. Casebeer handles it.
And that one's good too. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
17-17.
Just another dive move angle here at Troy Field. Great job, kind of late with the timing, which is excellent. Great handwork. Stuff block.
More confusion in reception. K-Spear again offensively. Scores it. We're still tied at 17.
Wise shot there that time from the Lorax. Been trying to blast his way through, and Troy Field having none of it at the net. Goes with the softer shot up and over that time. Good criminy.
Another tiny touch on net.
Makes you wonder how often that's happening that we aren't aware of.
20 minutes of freeze now in this one. I think we're past the previous match in terms of time. An hour and 15 for the whole match. That ball is put away.
Great rundown
18-17. Let me make another hash mark. It'll be the 12th match point. Third opportunity for K-Spear and Chalk. Someone's going to their first Sunday as a pair. Field drives it deep. Just good high hitting volleyball there.
That's the way to go.
Don't
Let
get
off
cute.
the gas a little bit, and Kame ran it down on the previous play. Just go up and be the physical beast that you are out there at Troy Field.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me for a second.
Well,
I was getting all pumped up, and then you said Troy Field, and I deflated.
yeah. 2002 texted me and said, not anymore.
Going to be in a hot tub later trying to fix that. Baumgren, dig for the tie again. Yes.
Oh my goodness, Jeremy was on it, couldn't control. And here we are at 18's Kevin Barnett. Whose decision was it to stand up here? My lower back is killing me.
You couldn't say no. Your buddy Josh Glazebrook made sure. Hybrid. In or out? In!
That's in there on the sideline. Troy
Kame
Field
Chalk
showed
is going to
immediately.
ask for a ball check. It is right in the sun, though. Yeah, to your point. It is in a ray from the northwest side of the stadium.
Is it well out? Is that? Are we seeing the right ball mark that looks like it's 4 inches out? Oh, that's clearly not the ball mark.
That's gone
was it?
into the sands of time.
That can't have been the ball mark that was 6 inches out.
No.
Yeah, Keith clearly
Match
saying-
point. Number 10.
Wow. I mean, how many net serves can we have?
Hybrid serve coming again. Match on the line. Basically 3 full sets now. An angry Jeremy K-Spear punishes the ball. Take that, Wilson.
Wow.
He's in an abusive relationship with Wilson.
Right. And that is a gutsy swing there because Troy Field has shut that down repeatedly at the end of this third set.
Can K-Spear do it again from the service line?
Wow. Crafty Timmy Baumgren.
The lefty.
No fear at 19-18 in the third.
Here we go. One more.
Well disguised here too. Gets both hands up there and just at the last moment chops it off.
11.
Kame giving the shot here.
Out of bounds.
And there it is. Wow. Not without an incredible amount of drama for Tim Baumgren and Troy Field. Holy moly.
14 total match points, 11 of them for Timmy Baumgren. Pride of Minnesota. And his partner, Troy Field, the high-flying youngster headed to Sunday for the very first time.
Congratulations to the two of them. A wonderful showing from Kame Chalk and Jeremy K-Spear as well, as we see Troy fall to his knees, deservedly so, ecstatic over the victory. And Timmy Baumgren just cruising to yet another Sunday in the first tournament of the season.
So much to be proud of if you're K-Spear and Chalk. 14-8 the freeze started. Worked themselves all the way back to a 2018 finish. Baumgren and Field move on to face Buttinger and Patterson.
I'm going to guess that 50-50 ball is going to haunt them a little bit. That could have completed that miraculous comeback by K-Spear and Schalk. But
we're going to wrap it all up. What a finish it has been. AVP Prime Video live wrap-up show next. See you, Richie. See you tomorrow.
see you.